welcome back to the channel for another adventure. Right now I am in Pismo Beach, California for a little weekend trip where I came up here to visit the Monarch Butterfly Grove and also head over to a hot spring for some camping and soaking and relaxation at the hot spring. I just got here to the Monarch Butterfly Grove, which is in Pismo Beach. It's part of the state parks here in California, and it's a really special place because this has been for years a place where monarch butterflies have come for their overwintering journey, spending from about November to the beginning of February here among the eucalyptus trees. Unfortunately, this video is not starting off the way that I had hoped, because when I arrived here, I learned that there were less than 100 butterflies here in the park, and actually the entire season this year, there's been just over 400. So very, very small numbers. In 1990, there were about 200,000 butterflies making the journey here to this area. So a reduction by about 99% is pretty terrible. Now, monarch butterflies are somewhat of a keystone species. When the environment is polluted, they're one of the first species to die off, unfortunately, just like bees, just like frogs. So when numbers of monarchs decline and other moths and butterflies, we can easily tell that something is wrong in the environment. Now, pesticide use here in California and throughout the world has really inundated the monarch butterfly population. And I was hoping that we were going to see some on this trip, but it looks like we're not.
Butterflies and moths are one of the most remarkable organisms on Earth. They go through a metamorphosis, basically melting their structure and re-emerging as something completely new. Now, you might remember a few years back when I was in Ecuador, I stayed at a place called Mashpi Lodge, and I spent some time there visiting a moth and butterfly garden they had on property where scientists were studying the process of metamorphosis. And I got to see every different stage of metamorphosis as they emerged from their cocoons to turning into beautiful butterflies and moths. And it was such a neat process. I've got a link to that video down below if you want to watch it. But it just goes to show you how incredible butterflies and moths are as a species. Now, not all butterflies migrate, and certainly none of them take as long as a journey as the Western monarch.
It's not a total loss here at the Monarch Grove. I have seen a few, and there's definitely some beautiful hummingbirds and other beautiful nature here too. But these little creatures make one of the most epic journeys in the animal kingdom, certainly in the insect world, traveling thousands of miles from Canada to the US and down to Mexico as well. And one of the wild things is that no single generation actually makes this trip in entirety. They actually travel as far as they can, and the next generation picks up where the last left. Now, monarch butterflies typically live for about 2 to 6 weeks, so not very long at all. But the ones that make it all the way down here to California are part of a super generation, and they can live up to 9 months, which in human terms would be like a human living to 900 years old, which is wild. So the monarchs that make it here are really, really special. But unfortunately, as we are seeing today, they're really in trouble. And we need to do more as a world, and certainly as West Coast dwellers, if you live on this side of the country, to make sure that insects and wildlife don't go extinct. You know, monarch butterflies are really important pollinators. They pollinate our food systems. They're also an indicator of environmental problems, widespread pesticide use, and also the deforestation and habitat loss associated with their favorite food, which is milkweed. The only thing that they eat has really led to a huge decline here of monarchs.
If you live anywhere near a monarch migration route, one of the easy things that you can do is plant native milkweed in your backyard. You can also avoid using pesticides or insecticides around your house or property, buy organic food, and support conservation groups working to protect butterflies. Every action that we can take can help if we work as a collective team.
Okay, everybody. I have just arrived here at Franklin Hot Spring, and I was actually planning on camping out here, but I just arrived and it's kind of sketchy. So let me show you what it looks like. So the hot spring is in this building over there, or the shack over there. And basically this is the camping area. I could have chosen anywhere in this empty field that is surrounded by broken down vehicles and people that look like they've lived here since the 1970s. So, I was going to tent camp, and in a place like this, I honestly just really don't feel like that would be a good idea. I don't feel like this is a very safe place. I'd be super out in the open. Everyone or anyone that is coming through here would be able to kind of see what I'm up to. And so the nice thing about doing kind of a local adventure is that I'm not too far to be able to go just home. So that's what I'm gonna do. I love my Jeep, and I've been keeping it alive for a long time, but one thing I don't love is how often I have to fill it up. So before we go anywhere, I'm gonna get some gas. Okay, fantastic news, because I actually looked on Expedia after I left the hot spring, and I found a nearby hotel for just $80 a night that includes taxes and fees. It's called the Adelaide Inn. It's right here in Paso Robles, and it's actually super cute. This is my little room. I just have a queen bed here. Super spacious, microwave, desk for working. Close to a bunch of restaurants, and there's also a pool and a hot tub here, which I'm definitely gonna go take a dip in. So definitely always a silver lining, as long as you kind of keep a smile on your face and look for backup options if the things that you want to do don't necessarily work out in the way that you want them to. I'm actually really glad I'm still gonna be spending the night up here, because this is a beautiful part of California. It's part of San Luis Obispo County, which is also known as SoCal. I've been up here a bunch of times because it is so beautiful and just a couple hours from Los Angeles. In videos past, I have come up here to see the elephant seals, to hike, to see waterfalls. There's lots of variety, especially if you're into just getting out in nature. There's also a ton of state parks. So tomorrow morning, I'm hoping to get out, do some trail running, maybe check and see if there's any elephant seals along the beaches a little bit north of here, and take in some of just the beauty of the coastline before we head back to Los Angeles. But before I kind of get settled in for the night, there's one thing that I do every single day, usually around this time of night, kind of when I'm home, done working and getting settled in, and that's practice my Spanish. By the time this video comes out, I'm going to be packing my bags and getting ready to head back to Ecuador for my very first group trip, which is taking place in the Galapagos. And if you've been following this channel long, you know that I've taken a lot of trips in the last couple of years to South America. So keeping up with my language learning is really important, which is why I'm really glad to be partnering with Rosetta Stone today.
What I love about Rosetta Stone is how immersive it is. Instead of just memorizing words, they show you images and words together, so your brain naturally makes connections like you would as a child learning how to speak. One of my favorite tools is definitely the True Accent feature, which I'm trying out right here. Una mano.
Una mano.
It gives me instant feedback so I can sound more like a native speaker, and I love that you can use it on both a desktop computer or on the app, which means I can do lessons anywhere and everywhere. And there are also all these other tools like phrase books, stories, live lessons, and even an audio companion.
So if learning a new language is on your agenda for the year, then there's no better time than right now to join me on Rosetta Stone. I'm sharing an exclusive discount for all of you right now in the description of this video. You can also scan this QR code on screen right here to save over 60% off on Rosetta Stone's lifetime subscription. This gives you access to all 25 languages for the rest of your life. It's an amazing deal. And what an amazing way also to master a new language. So let me know in the comments where you're heading next and what your language learning goals are. One thing I'm hoping to do a lot more of this year is running. I actually did college track many years ago now, but running has always been a big part of my life. And the last couple of years, I've just had a lot of issues with my feet. My Achilles tendons are hurt. I've had a little bit of plantar fasciitis. And so I haven't spent a lot of time running as much as I would like to. So I'm really trying to get back into that this year. I've come over here to the bluffs along the ocean. It is absolutely beautiful. And I'm gonna head out on a little trail run this morning.
Running, much like hiking, are both for me these transcending experiences. It's often a mix of pain and suffering, with moments of elation and, of course, the beauty of nature. But it's also a time in which I can think clearly and let go of whatever the stresses of the day have brought. I love the light wind on my cheeks, and in a place like this, hearing the birds above, the sea lions down below, and the gentle back and forth of the waves crashing along the bluffs. It's a feeling of pure freedom, and something I miss terribly living in one of America's biggest cities.
I so wish I could start every morning like this. I did about 4.5 miles, not a super long run, but good to just be out running in the beautiful nature that exists here on the Central Coast. If only I could live here, that would be fantastic. But I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed learning about monarch butterflies, and if you liked learning about wildlife like this, like you did in this video, let me know in the comments, because I'll try to incorporate more just fun facts and information about the species that I come across in my travels. Bye.